Okay, we're now gonna move on to breaking down some Duffy poetry. Okay. All right, so I already have War Photographer on the channel, so you can check that out if you need to revise War Photographer. Okay, the first poem that we're gonna look at uh today is gonna be The Way My Mother Speaks. Okay, The Way My Mother Speaks. All right, so okay, we're gonna analyze this just the same way that I've done with the McCaig poetry, which is also on the channel. Okay, so we're just gonna go through it. I'll stop at sort of key points, and then we'll finish off with looking at quotes that you can use in your exam. Okay, so take notes, and yes, you know the drill, yeah, usual stuff. Okay. Excuse me. Okay, here we go. All right, I say her phrases to myself in my head. Okay, so obviously, who's the her? Her is the speaker's mother, obviously. So the poem, here's your first note. The poem is about the speaker and her relationship with the words of her mother. The poem is about the speaker and her relationship to her mother's words. Okay, that's the idea. Yeah. Okay, I say her phrases to myself in my head. So the first thing is, if you notice, the speaker is saying her mom's words, and she's saying them where in her head. Okay, or under the shallows of my breath, meaning that other people can't hear them. Okay, other people can't hear them, which tells you what? It tells you that she sees the words as being very like precious to her, or being sort of something that she doesn't want to share with other people, something like that, okay? So the words to her are very precious, and also they are something that she doesn't want to share with everyone, and we'll get to the reason why in a second. Okay, essentially she doesn't want other people to hear her saying them. We'll get to why in a minute. Okay, so she goes on to say, restful shapes moving the day never, the day never. So we can assume the words that are in italic are the words of her mother, because in the poem, these italic words don't make any sense in terms of the placement, like here and here. So they don't make any sense in themselves. So we can assume the words in italic are the words of her mother. Okay, that's what we can assume. Okay, so what is she doing? The train this slow evening goes down England, browsing for the right sky. So she's traveling somewhere. Okay, so the speaker is on a journey, traveling somewhere. And obviously, we can now make the conclusion traveling somewhere away from her mother, which is why she's saying her words. So she's traveling somewhere away from her mother, and where is she traveling? She's going to England, okay, or she's traveling through England, either one. In any case, she's traveling away from her mother towards something else, okay? For miles, I have been saying, what like is it? Again, those are the words of her mom. The way I say things when I think, nothing is silent, nothing is not silent. Okay. So she's been saying her mum's words for miles and miles and miles, which shows you that she's saying them as a way of gaining some kind of comfort from them. That's why she's saying them. Now, this sentence here, or two sentences which I've highlighted, nothing is silent, nothing is not silent. Again, in itself, it doesn't make any sense, right? A good tip for you, okay, when you're looking at a text, when you have things in the text which don't make any sense, that in itself tells you something, okay? What it tells you here is that the speaker is confused. Confused. So they are confused about where they're going, about how they're feeling. Yeah, they're mixed up. They're mixed up, which is what you see here in this contradiction in the two sentences, basically. They're opposites, huh? But she's saying them both, meaning that she's confused. Okay? She's confused about where she's going, not in that she doesn't know where she's going, but in terms of how she feels about where she's going. Okay? So now what is this journey? Only tonight I am happy and sad, again, confused, like a child who stood at the end of summer. Okay, so the deeper meaning in terms of the journey, and this is true in most of the Duffy poems, is the journey here is talking about childhood to adulthood. Childhood with her mother, who she's now left, to adulthood on her own, which she's going towards. So the idea is she's feeling happy that she's going to become an adult, like you see in Mrs. Telsher's class and in Originally. But she's also sad that she's leaving behind her mum and being a kid, like that. That's the idea. Okay, that's the idea. Happy and sad like a child who stood at the end of summer. Summer, uh, like the summer holidays, fun, excuse me, fun, freedom, no responsibility, etc. Like when you go on summer holiday, it's like fun, etc. That's childhood. The end of summer after this is going to be adulthood. Yeah, which is not. I mean, it's fun too, to be honest. But from this perspective of the speaker, it's scary. It's not so fun, etc. You're going to be an adult. Yeah, that's the idea. That's the journey she's on. So the train journey, okay, is a metaphor for the life journey. That's the point. Okay. Okay, dipped into a net, blah blah. The day and ever, the day and ever. Okay, here we go. Final line of the poem. I'm homesick, free, in love with the way my mother speaks. Again, homesick. She wants to go back. She misses her mum and being a kid. Free. She feels happy about going forward, being an adult, being free. In love with the way my mother speaks, using the words like comfort. Okay, now I mentioned at the beginning that she says them quietly. Okay, she says them to herself. Why does she say them quietly? Because she is feeling embarrassed about saying them out loud because now she's an adult and she's using the words for comfort the way a child would do. That's the point of that. Okay? Anyway, simple poem. Point is that she's going from being a kid to being an adult and she's feeling mixed up about it, like many of you might be. Mixed emotions, fear of leaving behind childhood, excitement about being an adult. So that's what the poem's about, yeah, basically. That's what the poem's about. Okay, now in terms of quotes that you can use, okay, I say our phrases to myself in my head. That's a quote one. Okay, one. For miles I have been saying. That's two. I'm happy and sad like a child. There's three. I am homesick. Four. In love with the way my mother speaks. Five. Uh, and then you can pick another one. Yeah, it's up to you. Whichever extra one you want to pick. Doesn't really matter. Okay, so that's the poem pretty much. Key theme. Key theme is change or uh, ch childhood to adulthood or something like that. Yeah, that's the key theme. That's it. Simple. Simple. Easy. Easy poem. Um, yeah, easy poem. Many of you might be in the same situation. The speaker might be feeling the same way. Um, yeah, so it's not really a big thing. You'll feel mixed up. The only thing I could say to you, if I give you any advice on how to practical advice that will make your adult experience better, is I'd say try to come up with a vision might be too big of a word, but try to come up with, what kind of life you'd like to have. I don't mean two Ferraris and five flipping hot girls in your arm or something. If you want that, that's cool, yeah. But I mean, like a vision, yeah. What would you like to be doing? What could you see yourself doing? What kind of work would you like to be doing, etc., etc. And write that down, yeah. Even if it's something which doesn't make sense or whatever, having something you aim at. There's two things in life, yeah, which make you get the feeling of meaning, purpose, and which prevent you from falling into uh, depression and all that when hard times come. Okay, there's two things. One is direction, two is action. That's it. It's direction plus action. So what I'm saying to you is come up with a direction for yourself, a vision, even if you don't know exactly what it'll, all details and all that, but having something to aim at gives you something to move towards, as opposed to having nothing to aim at, which is when you feel like you're stuck, basically. And you have a breakdown. All right, anyways, some advice. Um, okay, but that's the poem, real simple. And yeah, see you soon. Bye.